I say somewhat regularly, or at least I imply somewhat regularly, that there's some kind of bias around most gaming outlets against the PC in favor of consoles, largely because these outlets need to play nice with the big console manufacturers in order to keep getting early access to things. And since there's no one company that owns the PC gaming market, it's really easy for the PC to be thrown under the bus in order to prop the consoles up. And the other day, an article was sent to me by a viewer that is one of the most blatant examples of this that I've seen in quite some time. So thanks to the VR Gamer for making my brain melt with this, because I'm now going to make everyone read this with me, and you can all see exactly why I get so frustrated with games journalism when they do this. Because as a PC gamer, not only is it obnoxious for my platform to just be lied about, but also as someone who cares about pro-consumerism, which I thought was the whole point of being a games journalist, was, you know, being a representative for the consumer, thought that was your whole thing. These are the kinds of articles that can push somebody away from getting a gaming PC and towards getting a gaming console instead, based on complete fabrications. So this article is from Gfinity Esports. Remember when they used to talk about, you know, esports? And the title is called "The Steam Deck Needing Internet for Single-Player Games is a Crime. It's a major flaw and a disappointing one too." And those of you in the audience who have any knowledge of the Steam Deck should already see the problem here. But in case you don't see the issue with this title, let me spell it out. The Steam Deck does not require internet for single-player games. This system works perfectly fine offline. This whole article is based on a lie, which means it'll be very fun to read. So strap yourself in with let's just read this. Quote, "The Steam Deck is one of my favorite gaming systems. Sometimes I even like it more than my Switch." So right out of the gate, we're comparing the Steam Deck to the Switch. Like, paragraph 1, we're comparing the Steam Deck to the Switch after we had a title that was a complete fabrication. I wonder what the motivation for this article was with the launch of the Switch 2 so close. It still feels surreal playing games like Marvel's Spider-Man or WWE 2K25 on this device, and that's not even touching what else can be played on the handheld. With all that being said, I always feel some disdain for the system whenever single-player games need an internet connection. Not being able to play some of these titles in the great outdoors feels like a disservice, and usually leads me to bring out my Switch again. Oh man, all of those games that require an internet connection to play single-player on the Steam Deck. Side note, hi, my name is Joe. I actually own a Steam Deck, and I have literally never needed online connection to play a single-player game. You need an online connection to download a game, because obviously, but once it's on the system, you don't need online to play it. This, again, this is just a fabrication. The article continues. For the record, this isn't Valve's fault, not completely anyway. Publishers often push to have internet connections for their single-player games so they can collect data and show them off to stockholders or higher-ups. And there it is. This is not a problem with the Steam Deck, this is a problem with AAA gaming. Some games require an internet connection to play single-player, so obviously, if you run those games specifically on the Steam Deck, you're going to need an internet connection to play them in single player. But, by your own admission, that's not Valve's fault. And interestingly, you don't have anything to say about Switch games that require an online connection to play. Admittedly, there's not as many of them on the Switch, but that's also because there's not as many games on the Switch. Like, even a little bit. Certain games in the modern gaming industry require an online connection to play single player, and it's really fucking lame when they do. But they do so regardless of platform. So tell me, why is this the title of the video? Now let's put our heads together here. The release of the Switch 2 is upon us. Switch 2 hype is growing. Gfinity Esports is a bordering on dead publication. I wonder if we can figure out why this was the way we're framing the information. I wonder why we're just blatantly lying about the Steam Deck and using it as a way to prop up the Switch, now of all times. Let's rub our heads together, get some sparks flying, and see if we can figure it out together. What else does he say? It's an annoying practice that has become pretty common with a lot of AAA games, and the Steam Deck can't prevent this. Yeah, of course it can't. Like, it's a piece of hardware. It's not a piece of software, it's a piece of hardware. Of course, of course, the hardware isn't going to alter the software being run on the hardware. Nintendo can't prevent this either, but you don't seem to have a problem with that. Still, nothing is more disheartening than bringing out the deck for some game time, only to find out that an internet connection is needed. This is currently haunting a lot of games with launchers like Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed Shadows or Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, so it's not limited to one big bag. Yeah, and with the 5 bajillion games available on the Steam Deck, I don't think people are going to lose sleep over the fact that they can't play those 2 specific games offline. Also, is that even true about Jedi Fallen Order? I replayed Jedi Fallen Order not too long ago, and I didn't recall any kind of online requirement for it. Hey, Joe from the editing booth here. I did some basic Googling, and turns out no, it's not true. Jedi Fallen Order is entirely playable on the Steam Deck offline. Like, it takes a little bit of setting up, but it's entirely playable offline on the Steam Deck. So, fantastic research there, Mr. Gfinity esports journalist. I also think it's funny that you chose to make a direct comparison between the Steam Deck and the Switch here. That's the point of this video, is to draw a direct comparison between the Steam Deck and the Switch. And your 2 examples of games that are hindering the Steam Deck's potential are 2 games that don't even exist on the Switch. It's just a weird strategy. Nintendo isn't a perfect company. Look at all the fan games they've taken down, but they understand that single-player handheld titles should be played offline. Switch owners can put their Switch on airplane mode and still play big titles like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom or Super Mario Odyssey without much issue. Granted, some of these games will ask if you want to download updates, but that can be ignored if you just want to play on the go. Several things wrong here. First of all, Switch is not the only handheld platform with an airplane mode. The Steam Deck has an offline mode. It is a perfectly functional offline mode. I have personally used it. Second of all, the Steam Deck can run Switch emulators and play both of those games offline. Third of all, are you really telling me that if a game asks you to download an update and you say no, that you can just go along playing the game without the update? Is that really how you think modern gaming works? You're whinging about modern gaming requiring updates and internet connections, and now you're turning around and saying, oh yes, but modern gaming lets you just play old versions of the game. In some cases, you're correct. In other cases, no. So why are you painting with a broad brush here? Again, you made this article to draw a direct comparison between the Switch and the Steam Deck. And every single reason for this comparison has been factually wrong, or at best, flimsy. You brought up 2 games that can't be run offline on the Steam Deck, but those are 2 games that aren't even available on the Switch. You bring up 2 games that are available on the Switch that can be played offline. Great, the Steam Deck can also play those games offline. And then you bring up the Switch's airplane mode as if it's somehow exclusive to the Switch over the Steam Deck, and that's not even true. Oh my god, it's driving me nuts. Valve's Steam Deck does have airplane mode and offline mode to quell our worries, but that can mess up some games upon activation. Oh, so running the Switch offline has no issues ever with launching games because it can't connect to the internet first? There's no online checks anywhere on any Switch games? You fucking dunce? Why are you drawing this comparison? Again, I'm not even saying these things never happen. I'm not even saying there aren't games on the Steam Deck that'll struggle in offline mode, but by your admission as well, that's not Valve's fault. For the most part, players should be able to play their single-player favorites without much issue, but games with Denuvo can occasionally ruin things and require a connection. I'm looking at you, my precious Persona 5 Royale. Yes, that's Denuvo's fault. Not Steam's, not Valve's, Denuvo's. And people wonder why I'm so vehemently against Denuvo existing in the first place. Even some games that don't require an internet connection have weird online requirements. If they don't require an internet connection, but they have online requirements, what the fuck does that sentence mean? Like, what? They don't require internet, but they do require internet. What are you talking about? Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, I don't watch or play Dragon Ball, I don't know how to pronounce that, has separate save files for online and offline modes, which makes playing offline a frustrating experience. The save you had online won't be the same offline, so you're pretty much forced to have an internet connection for this single player title. Yeah, that's a universal experience for cloud saves. If you are saving your game online and don't have an offline backup of the save, that can get a little wonky. But you know who's never had that problem, literally ever? playing Steam games online and offline on multiple devices? Me. When you launch a game in offline mode, the most recent save will be the most, like, it'll sync with the most recent cloud save, and then it'll play offline, create an offline save point, and the next time you connect to the internet, it will update the online save point with where you got to offline. It will overwrite it. That's how cloud saves work. Are you just befuddled with the concept of cloud saving? Because if that's the case, you shouldn't be a fucking game journalist. This is not new. Admittedly, this isn't the biggest issue for Steam Deck owners, as many of them want to get those achievements. We can't blame them because receiving that little notification when getting the meaningless reward does activate some sort of melatonin in gamers. That's just the life for some achievement hunters, and it can be a pretty rewarding experience. Ah yes, when in doubt, talk down to the opposition for literally no reason. When in doubt, take the thing that you don't agree with and call it meaningless, while also trying to be a representative of gamers, with presumably some kind of monetary reward from Gfinity Esports. I speak no hyperbole when I say you should never be financially compensated for writing another article. This is ridiculous. The Steam Deck is still a great handheld that can play a ton of games that Nintendo Switch can't, but it would be better if all of the single-player titles could be played offline. Let's hope that the Switch 2 prioritizes offline single-player like its predecessor. Do you see what I mean when I say there was zero reason to draw a direct comparison with the Switch here? There was, like, this article could have existed perfectly well as a criticism of the Steam Deck, but you chose to directly compare it to the Switch. I fucking wonder why. And because you chose to directly compare it to the Switch, this article is now a gigantic piece of shit. And not only is it a gigantic piece of shit, it is a dishonest piece of shit. Some games on the Steam Deck require an online connection to play single player, and that's fucking lame. But if you are really going to sit here and tell me that there are no games anywhere on the Switch that require an online connection, I'm going to call you a liar. I am also going to say that the Steam Deck has an infinitely higher number of games that are available than there are on the Switch, so I don't think people are going to lose sleep over the fact that they can't play a small handful of them offline. Also, I am waiting on a single game that the Switch even has that the Steam Deck cannot run, since you insist on comparing these two platforms. In case I wasn't being very clear, I don't like you very much, because I actually play on the PC, I actually own a Steam Deck, and I actually understand how these things work. So poopy face to you, sir. I'm going to do the Doofus Club reads now, and you can just shove it. Okay. Okay, Cloaked Onyx and Omega JG Dusty, Hail de Nouveau Pub Cod Stop It, Codman 4372WX, The Gamer 127YT, Joe, have you tried Crab Champions? Father Joe, when are you joining voice chat? Shock by Nipples, Gold Pyrac, Zombie Fan, Alderoth01, I shit on the floor the whole time while you were gone, Joe, Ultima Jack, Dog, Nig, Z Smiley, Blast 1314, Snake Eyes 327, Devastator 2000, Edge Knight 1789, Raptor 1, it's Gamer Word, not Gamer World, get it right, Joey. Sorry, Gamer World. I'm sorry I read that wrong, Gamer World. Is the joke funny yet, Gamer World? Wildgamer 3001, Sad Your Freighter, MK2396E, the Crocodile on the Moat, Got Me Joe, Help, Hentai, Ex Machina Gamma, Elite Wolf, Fire Hazard 105, Ed Beyond 504, If You Read It, You Gay, Klepto Penguin, Banshee, Partial Meat 8, GWXSS, Doom Kaiju, Rast the Wolf, Evan Co, OK Toodles, Tech Gaming, Jungle Zone, Slim Jim, Really Zero, Gaming When Dead People, Better Fondue, All Games Video, Big Japanese thing that I can't read, Max Killer V2 Gaming, Biscuit 1101, PS5 has Infinite Bacon, Horizon Forbidden West Remastered, Pope Raphael the Rat King, Jessica Shepard, Wiki Spiral, Wiki Tiki Tabby, Muskie Joe's Keyboard Fun, Crewme the Steel Angel, Hoodoo You, Voodoo Woo, Hoo Doofy Woofy, Smash Jump, Jason Bond, Sergeant Jason Bond. Jason Bond, comma, Sergeant. Baron von Vaterholm, Cyrus failed to homework, admonished me, Joe, forgot to change the name, why now I can't afford to fix it. True Tech Skin 940, Sense Nakage, Yingbo fucking Anemone, Jethmis United Establishmentarianism, Hinoka's #1 Saudi fan, Creed Warrior 23, Max Chev, Itchy Nads, Time to Scratch, am I right, chaps? Totally Insanity, Vendetta Audrey, Black Cobra, Non-Voila, Vox Alta, Night of Cypher, Reborn Me with the fan art, ML04, I own 6 copies of Tick Click 2006 on Blu-ray with the fan art, Harmon's Hair Grease Supplier, Wolf of Midnight, Stick Rider, Pig Venus, Kev Dog 1992, Steve Wynn Studios, Film McCracken, The Beast Homes, Ohm Gaming, Tariq Brown, Tom Spokane, Hero Culture, Thorn Skin, Maganex, Everett Evans, Mr. Spotty 03, is the Catalina freaking Y, Mixer Pow Pow, Wide Trouble, Donnie Weston, Nick Donegan, Gob Gobson, Rogue Winter 919, Bobby Hinner, Grimsy, Sengoku Rants, what the fuck, Hangman for Hire, Alden the Noble, Frost Crystal, Jimmy Chops, Biogenesis, Ian Action, Floppy Pingus 97, Michael Musical, Mega Key, Kush Good, The Scruffy Skull, Ghost Ho, Ryusagi, The Judge 06, Vast Grove, Femtanga, Raptor Tim, Omnis F94, Blue Hook, Joe forgot to cancel, now I can't pay the ransom, The Return of the King when it's upside down, on Schnorl accent, I'm high as a kite as I write this. Jody Breeze, Smitter, Worker, Jagerman Jensen, El Maxler, El Massimo, Demetrius, Papa Giorno, McAdvertisement, Diego Garcia, Hey, it's Maddie, Kipikins, I American Eddie, Rebel Blood 80, Omanko Taco, The End is Nigh, The End is Not, The End is Nigh. Fuck, I was thinking about Watchmen. Remember that game? The End is Nigh? Watchmen, The End is Nigh? The End is never, 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 The Last of Us is coping, The Last of Us is boring, cope. Oh no, it's Justin Wren, Roy Tooney, Wayne, Bloodline, Extreme Wolf 7, Joey Scoops, my name is Mud, Joe Taku, Stop Burning, Joe's Chicken, I'm fucking hungry, calm, breathe in, breathe out, go for the last 10, Wannabe Hobo, Jidge, Westa, Billet 310 Char, Rob Steve, I Am Veg, The Groovy Banana, Curtin Allen's back, The Scrum Master, I own 4 copies of Tangle 2010 on Blu-ray. Oh, my voice hurts, bro. I've recorded 2 videos today. I tried to get ahead of videos today, and now I have a hurt. Now my voice is so ouchy. Okay, toodles.